Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at the Mount Custom Locking Cradle for the Garmin nuvi 2797 series. This is the RAM-HOL-GA61L. This cradle, in addition to the nuvi 2797, is also going to work with the Garmin nuvi 2757, the Garmin dezl 760, and the Garmin RV 760. Here's what comes with when you purchase this cradle. You have this main backing part of the cradle here that your GPS is going to sit in. And then you also have this front plate portion of the cradle. This is going to bolt onto the back and will hold your GPS in place securely. Also have some hardware that comes with. There's two different hardware packs. Down here you have a set of 4 thin screws and nuts. Those are going to hold the front part of the cradle onto the back. And then you have this other hardware pack over here with 3 different sets of screws. You have 2 short, 2 medium, and 2 long, and then a set of 2 nuts down there at the bottom. What that hardware is for is the back of this cradle, where you have this 2-hole pattern and this diamond shape, and that's designed to accept this piece, which is a RAM-B-238 diamond plate with 1-inch ball. This does not come with the purchase of the cradle. You have to buy this separately or as part of a bundle, but this will bolt onto the back of your cradle, and from here you can build out the rest of your mount and use this with other 1-inch B-size ball components. So that's actually where we're going to start, is attaching this diamond plate to the back of the cradle. 3 different lengths of screws to choose from. I'm using the metal plate, which is a thin one, so I'm going to go with the medium size. I can use either the medium or the short for this plate, but I just prefer to use the medium. It's really up to you. So what I'm going to start by doing is taking the 2 nuts and getting those into the back of the cradle. There's 2 hex-shaped holes there toward the back, so I can just drop those in one at a time. And when I do, I want to make sure that the light-colored side is facing out toward me. Now I can get that diamond plate positioned onto the back, and I'm holding the nuts in place so that they don't fall out. And I can get those screws in there. Get those threaded in by hand a little bit just so nothing falls out. And then, once I have that in place, I can take my screwdriver and just get those tightened up the rest of the way. First one side. That's on there pretty good. And now I can repeat the process with the other side. All right, so there it is. I have the 1-inch B-size ball attached to the back of my cradle, and now I'm ready to get my GPS. This GPS is the dezl 760, and this GPS, along with all the other ones that are going to work with this cradle, comes with a piece that looks like this. This is a powered cradle. This comes in the box with your GPS, and it is designed to accept the power source. It has a mini USB plug right there on the side. That's where you plug your power cable into. So we'll start by hooking your powered cradle into the back of your GPS, and then all you need to do is take that and drop that into the back of your cradle. There's a large indentation there in the back that's designed for the Garmin cradle, and that will just fit right in there and will sit flat against the back of the cradle. Now what we are going to do is take that front portion of the cradle that we have before, and there's 4 holes, 1 in each corner, and there's the same thing on the back portion of the cradle. 4 holes, 1 in each corner, and we'll just line these up. And you'll feel it snap into place a little bit. There's a little bit of a groove that it catches into, so once it's in there, you won't be able to slide it back and forth. And we'll make sure all of our holes are lined up here. Make sure that you are putting it in right side up. There's a bit of an indentation there at the bottom of the cradle, which is going to be below the word Garmin. And then there's also a bit of a lip or a shade sort of along the top of the cradle. Now we can take our 4 screws and our 4 nuts, and we can get started attaching the front to the back. So I'll start with one of the nuts here. Again, on the back here you have a hex-shaped hole you can drop that into. You can just hold that in place with your finger momentarily, and then you can get the screw started in there and get out your screwdriver to get that tightened up all the way. So the screws that come with this cradle, both to attach the front of the cradle to the back, are just standard screw heads. It might be a wise idea to invest in a different shape, like a hex head screw, if you do want a little bit of added security. That would be, of course, for both these front 4 screws as well as the 2 diamond plate screws that are on the back. So there is the first one right there that we have completed. All you need to do from here is just complete that process with the 3 remaining screws. And there is the last one. All right, so we have finished assembling our cradle. There's what it looks like from the front as the completed product. Here's what it looks like from the back. There are some cutouts in the RAM cradle that allow you to access some things on your GPS. There's a cutaway here in the corner to get to your power button, cutaway here for the speaker, and then also there is a cutaway so that you can get to your powered cradle. There's the mini USB port there on this side. Because this is, as I mentioned, a dezl 760, the cradle also has inputs for audio and video, and there are cutaways for those as well. So I'm ready to use this cradle now with some other RAM mount parts. I can take a suction cup, which you probably wouldn't be using with a locking cradle like this one, but nevertheless, get that down on the table here. I can put an arm on that, like this standard length B-socket arm. The 1-inch ball on the back of the cradle can go into that open socket in the arm. I can make adjustments to it, and when I'm all done, just tighten up that knob on the side of the arm, and I'm all set to go. So that is a quick look at the Mount Custom Locking Cradle for the Garmin nuvi 2797 series. This is the RAM-HOL-GA61L.